SuperDave here with another SuperDave review. SuperDave here with another Masters of the Universe Origins review, and this time it's a crossover. But before we get started into this review, I would just like to take a moment of silence in memory of the legendary voice of He-Man, John Irwin. Like many of you, I loved his voice.
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull!" And I became He-Man, the most powerful man in the universe.
It was perfect. And so in honor of him, I dedicate this episode to John Irwin. May he rest in peace. But today it is a crossover because for some reason, the powers that be at Mattel, in conjunction with a Target exclusive, felt like that He-Man should be intertwined in some multiverse with Stranger Things. That's right. And so if you turn Eternia upside down, he has to go after Vecna in Stranger Things, which is a Netflix deal. And I'm not that familiar with them, be honest with you. I've never seen it. That's right. I've never seen Stranger Things, but I know He-Man. And that's what I wanted to check out because I just thought this guy looked really cool for a He-Man. And so I want to take a look at this guy. You can see over here on the side, this beautiful artwork. You see Castle Grayskull in the background there. And just, you know, where he's chopping up tentacles of this dude. He's got a battle axe and a very unique shield. You see the moon in the background, just really cool. And then if you flip it upside down, you see Vecna, that weird tentacled looking creature. And I must say, he's kind of cool looking for a bad guy. So I don't know what I'll be able to do with him. Maybe I can do something, you know, like a custom, or I may just leave him the way he is. But as you can see his, I guess you'd say his features there. And then if you turn it upside down, you will see He-Man's features there. And there's a short bio. If you want to read that, you can pause. But let's go ahead and check out this amazing crossover and unique packaging and everything. Retro play and all this that it comes with. Just neat artwork on the back. Everything about the box you can see there. So let's go ahead and break it open now and check out these two individuals, especially the He-Man. And here we are on Eternia itself, getting ready to take a look at He-Man and Vecna's accessories. And He-Man comes with a battle axe with a really nice, cool metallic type design. And then he comes with this shield with like this demon looking thing on the front, this devilish looking bat looking, you know, stuff on the side, and the horns and the teeth like it's bursting forth out of the shield. And I'm wondering if that is part of the Stranger Things concept, because then we also have a power sword, and it's just a plain power sword without the rail, the guard on the side. And then a very metallic-y looking chest armor, which I really like. I think that is cool. And this He-Man has a really neat head sculpt. Matter of fact, this is one of the reasons I wanted this guy, because look, they even painted the whites in there. They didn't do that for the other Origins He-Man. I'm not sure about the cartoon one because I've not been able to find that one. But this is a very vintage looking He-Man. And he's got some metallic looking gold bracers and the belt, and he just has a really good skin tone. It's a darker shade with like some shading around the abs and just around the musculature, but it's not as impressive to me as the cartoon because he's still a little stumpy. You know, just weird looking shoulders, just that, you know, blocky looking stumpiness of the Origins. That's the reason I'm not a big fan of them. But I just like this one and wanted to get a hold of him. But if you're an Origins collector, you're going to really like this one. I do kind of wish they had gone with the Origins cartoon line of body for these, but I still like it. And then we have our Vecna, Vecna, and he has almost like a clock type staff that's on fire, clock type castle looking staff. And if you're into the Stranger Things, you may know exactly what this stands for. But that's the only accessory that he comes with, other than his tentacles are removable. And he has 2 sets of those, but they're not bendy, like, you know, bendy wire type tentacles, which they missed out on that. They should have been where you could bend them around. You can pose a little bit on the hinge of the back of the where it plugs in, and we'll see that in just a minute. But they're not bendable, so that's a big miss in my opinion there. But there you have the accessories. Now let's take a look at these 2 fellas. Articulation. Alright, bringing our He-Man on in here a little closer, you can see that he's able to be equipped with everything he comes with. He has his power sword, which could be put on his back as well. He's got his shield, which attaches very nicely, very easily. And he has a place back here for either the battle axe or the power sword could easily be put back here as well. As you can see, it slides right in there. So either one of those could work. Matter of fact, like we've seen before with these kind, because it has this handle, you can very easily put that like that and then slide that in, and even have both equipped like so if you wanted to. We've done that with our Masterverse, use that trick with the Masterverse too. So that's cool. You can have options there. But moving on to the articulation, he's going to be able to look up about that much, which is great. And boy, that's a vintage looking head. I really like that head. He's able to look down a good amount there. He's going to be able to get excellent pivot. Just take a look at that. So he's got really good range of motion, of course, side to side. And of course, these are removable, and it has a really nice large ball peg underneath there. So that's cool. No diaphragm articulation with these guys, but that arm will, those arms will go out, you know, T-pose, full 360. No bicep swivel, but you do get that elbow swivel with that single jointed elbow. And let's look at the muscularity here, and again those gold bracers. So he gets about, let's say, probably not quite 90 degrees here, but very close. And he of course gets our horizontal hinged hands and swivel. So no extra hands and no vertically hinged hands with these. You will get a swivel at the waist, and you're going to be able to get full splits with those legs. You're going to not really get any swivel there, but you will get a swivel at the knee. Single jointed knees, it'll go back about that far. He does get boot cut, and he'll get full tiptoes with that foot, go up all the way, and get excellent ankle rockers with peg hole in the bottom of these. And again, because of the way these legs are done, a little bit differently than what we see with the cartoon line, they're a little bit more stumpy. I do wish they had used the cartoon body personally, as I've already said. But there he is all the way around. I like this gold belt. I mean, this is my pick of the Origins He-Man so far, basically for 2 reasons. Well, 3. 1, I really like the head sculpt. 2, I like that actual metallic looking chest armor instead of what we get usually, which is more of a flat gray. We this time get an actual metallic look. You can see that there. And I like the gold highlights. So that's the reason I like this He-Man. I'm still not a big Origins fan. When I compare these to Masterverse, it's like, are you kidding me? You know, but I get the nostalgia. I really do. I mean, this does look more like the vintage, the original toys that we played with. So I get it. But I'm just an articulation junkie, and the realism and just the versatility of the New Eternia stuff with Masterverse. But anyway, that's enough of my soapbox. I'm a fan of this He-Man. He's cool. So now let's look at the Articulation of Vecna. And as I've said, I know nothing about this guy, but that's the way he looks on the back. He's got all kinds of like vine looking stuff going on back here. And like I said, you can move these because they're pegged in just like that. And these are not posable, like wired. They do not have any wires in them where when you bend it, it's not going to stay. You see, it just bounces back. There's no wire in there, but it does peg in the back. And so you can bend them. You could bend them, say, like this way. Oops. Where they could go kind of more above his head, and that one below. Or you could cross them over and have them both kind of up like that. Or even cross them and have them more, well, they're going to run each other there. Kind of more down, kind of like it was out of the package. So you got a little bit of option there. But there's really not a whole lot of mobility with his head because of the way the hair is done. But he will look up about that much. He will look down a good amount. He's able to get a decent amount, just a little bit of wiggle, but because of the hair, it just gets in the way. But he can turn his head pretty decent. It's not going to go all the way around, but it will turn somewhat there. And I'm going to go ahead and remove these tentacles to show you that his popped off, but it will rotate all the way around like so. You can even with all that stuff on there, you can still get almost a T-pose. Same thing, rotation at the elbows, single jointed elbows. Same thing at the wrist. You got horizontally and hinged and swivel at the wrist. No abdomen crunch of any kind, but you are going to be able to rotate here. And he's got shading in his abs and some shading on his body and musculature, just like He-Man does. I'm going to get full splits. I'm going to be able to kick up about that far, and has single jointed knees, boot cut. He's got your clawful type, I would say, feet, but they will go full tiptoes all the way up. And you get excellent rockers with the peg hole in the bottom with this fella as well. So your common origin style articulation, head will pop off, arms will pop off. From the boot cut down will pop off. So you kind of get the idea there as far as what he'll be able to do. And you've seen how the tentacles pop off. And don't think any of this has anything. It's just a solid piece of plastic. But there's a closer look at that. It looks very flame, like it's glowing, like some kind of clock. But still a neat relic. Really cool. All right, so there you have it. Now we're done with this guy, but let's go ahead as far as our He-Man and look at some comparisons. And here is our new Masters of the Universe Origin Stranger Things crossover He-Man with the original Origins He-Man. You can definitely see a big difference in both the skin tone, the belts, the gauntlets, the head, the chest armor, everything. I mean, you see what I was talking about. And then this one I never opened. It's the Masters of the Universe He-Man Most Powerful Man in the Universe Retro Play Vintage Style Origins, which is pretty much identical to this one, except it has the bright yellow vintage looking head. Still doesn't look like the head from the original 80s. There's a picture of the actual He-Man from the vintage 80s, which definitely looks more like the one that came in the classics, the vintage style head in the classics, in my opinion. Except they didn't pop on with a ball joint. They were more rubbery and popped on a different way. But I don't know, they just never have quite got that vintage head right since the classics. But you know, this one is definitely awesome. And then we move over to the cartoon. Now I think these are a lot better. The Tila is a lot better here. This is the cartoon Tila. This is the cartoon Prince Adam. And we have a cartoon Cringer and our Origins Orko, which is definitely more of a cartoon accurate. And I painted his hat. I didn't like that orange, but he's looking good. But yeah, that is awesome. You can see the difference. They're just not quite as stumpy, and I like the muscularity on these new legs. They're just more, they have more of a muscle tone look to them than what we have with these Origins legs. They were just kind of smooth a little bit and not as much defined. But definitely like the belt and the gauntlets on this guy. Wish they were removable. I don't think they are. I think they're painted on. But you can remove the hands. The torso will pop apart, as we said, just like all the Origins figures. So you can mix and match. But anyway, there is a look at some of the other Origins. This is all the Origins figures I have right here, what you're seeing. This is it. And I'm going to be honest with you. Another one of the reasons why I wanted to pick up this guy with this awesome silver metallic looking harness, He-Man chest armor, is because when I get my other Norseman by Frazetta Girls, Icon Collectibles, when I get my other one in the mail from Big Bad Toy Store, I'm going to try to transform him, this body, into a He-Man. And I'm going to be using the classics, I believe, vintage head and that harness to put on him to try and do that. So stay tuned, because I'm going to do a video of that. All right, thank you for joining us for this Super Dave review. Be blessed. And here's what I'm going to do with this Origins vintage style He-Man. If you're interested in him and you are a member, I will do a drawing. Just hit me up, let me know in the comments in this video that you're interested, and I'll put your name in the drawing if you're a member of Super Dave's Reviews channel. Doesn't matter what tier. If you're a member and you're interested in him, I will put you in the drawing. All you'll need to do is pay for shipping. That's it. All right? I'll let you know as soon as I find out, and you let me know. And if you'd like to join so that you can be put in the pot, you can do that. Just go over to Super Dave Reviews channel. Just join, no matter what tier, and let me know you're interested. And yes, I'll put your name in the drawing. All right. Thank you so much. And here's some photos in the photo gallery.
We keep running faster and faster. I don't know what we're after, yeah. We keep up with disaster. I'm thinking that they're after me. We're running like faster and faster. We're running like faster and faster.
Alright, so the only Masterverse figure that this head will match, because it definitely won't match this skin tone. This is a lot more of a tan, which this is a tan too, but just a different, I don't know, kind of more of a brown tone to it, just like this He-Man head. But this matches perfect. This is the figure that came with that 3-pack Mattel Creations Vicor, or was it Vicron? I'm trying to remember now, where it came with the tank and the space suit, and then this outfit, but the guy with the helmet. But yeah, that skin tone actually matches perfect. So, you know, you could definitely use that head with this body if you're into Masterverse, and actually have a really nice vintage head to go along with that if you wanted to do a custom. And you could, of course, use, you know, some He-Man garb and a chest armor you've got laying around to make it more complete.